Hello. Yeah, it's been a minute since I was active on here. It's been what was right, but I feel called to do maybe just a card. Not push it too long. It is the full moon in Sagittarius as we speak, and it is a absolute time of celebration for me, being a a sun, moon, and Mercury Sagittarius placement. Um, and with me, I have a new fun candle, which I won't put the exposure onto because it's, but I've been buying like a new candle for each full moon. Yeah, which has been a really nice practice just to bring light, shine light on the things in life that are worth remaining our focus on. Um, because as much as there is absolutely like mass collective shadow work that needs to take place, which can only occur through individuals doing that work within themselves and then therefore being in a place to bring that to the external in whatever way it is that you are here to like serve that is aligned with your highest good, be it in like lawmaking or like spiritual stuff or activism and speaking out about things through music, anything. And it's like not only forms of creation have to do with art, um the healing is absolutely a part of it, the focus on the shadow, but there needs to be a balance. So if this is finding you in a place of like so much focus has been on the awful things that are occurring everywhere. I mean, in a sense, when has there not been? But like there's a particularly intense negativity being pushed through some humans towards others right now. Like on scales that seem unfathomable to one person to maybe do anything about. Um, I'll begin with that is you are not ineffectual. Nothing that you do or don't do has no effect. You're always affecting the entirety of the consciousness, the entirety of the oneness that we are. Even though we are here housed in individual skin suits, we are all one. It is felt. But that also means that like self-care, joy, like focusing on joy, allowing joy in your everyday life, consciously choosing that amidst all of this as well matters to the entire collective just as much as like doing focused work that has to do with talking about some cause or working towards change within yourself so that there isn't generational repeats of generation, yes, that's the right word, of the energies that are occurring, because there's also a mass like rising of not only consciousness but of love, like really real deep love, not like how we've known love in the last kind of many years. It's not just between family or just between lovers. It's like even more than just between friends, where it's like love and the understanding of it in itself is expanding within our existence as humans. And like it's something we should absolutely be proud of and continue the work of. And I think, and as I know, this is happening because of the practices of self-love, of seeing the one and the all and the value of and the worth of your specific life, while also seeing the worth and value of everyone's lives around you, right? Like just because one person's life is mega valuable and more valuable than you'd ever realize that you actually had the like ability or allowance to notice before doesn't devalue anyone else's worth or experience. And there is space and resources enough for everyone. There is love enough for everybody. And like in a way where the more we continue to focus, or the more we have focused as a species on lack, and the more that we buy into, which I know is like enforced in a lot of ways, so this is not me placing fault, but the more that we buy into a system that is based off of the focus on lack, capitalism, and patriarchy in its like negative sense, is like creates more belief in lack. I am amazed and stupefied and really fucking impressed with our species that there's still an ability to see love, to feel love, to even open one's heart to love. And again, not just romantic love, like to love yourself, to put practice into that when everything about the reality that unhealed people have been creating has like made it so like a minefield and so difficult to feel anything. Like don't take for granted the fact that you allow feelings in the first place, but then like that you believe in love and in the good of things. And I know it's like in a way being said a lot. I just don't think that it can be said enough. Yeah, I don't know that I have anything else to share exactly right now. What you're doing is enough. 555. Okay. Remove the selenite here. So, in a recent transmission, I guess through a meditation, it was just an experience. I realized like my form when I'm not human, not is a hummingbird, because it's just like energy that isn't, you know, housed in a specific being. But I've had an encounter, or like a lot, with the hummingbirds, with birds in general. Birds are like definitely a very specific theme throughout my life of like transformation and noting spiritual growth and stuff like that. And I'm going to share just that one specific one that made me smile there, because like just magic. So I had moved from Ireland to Oregon to do a workaway thing. Would totally recommend it as a way of traveling, but like, you know, speak with the people before, be safe. Anyway, I had learned that there's like plants on the we had planted a garden. We planted fruit trees and stuff like that. The people, and I'm fast forwarding through a lot of the stuff because I'm good at tangents, but I'm going to stay focused for this. And so I learned from the people on that land, especially because it actually gets so hot there, that like if you have a sun that is like, you know, getting to over 30 degrees Celsius throughout the day, it can like boil the water, or like, you know, damage the plants for the soil to still be wet, and definitely damage the leaves if there is water droplets on the leaves when the sun starts to shine. So watering them as early as possible in the morning is the best way to, you know, that's a good way to deal with plants and planting things and like the health of the beings. And so I'm up there, and there was like literally baby fruit trees that had never fruited anything before. And this year was when they got put in, and a nectarine had grown, like the first nectarine on this tree's like little lifetime. And it produced one whole nectarine, and it was like growing all the other ones. It was also a peach tree. This one like was already, and it's like literally a sapling. And so I didn't see it right away because there was a leaf in the way. And like from the direction that I'd normally be watering. And so I looked at it from a new perspective that day and saw that it had produced a nectarine, and I was like, oh my god, this is beautiful. So it's literally like at 5 a.m., maybe 4:30 a.m., and it's like still cool on a gonna be very hot summer like July day, something ridiculous, you know. And I'm there with like the spray, and it's catching a rainbow in the light that is coming around, and and I'm like eating a nectarine, and it's like I'm holding a smoothie in my hand. Like it is the sweetest, most beautiful fruit. I will never forget the eating of that specific nectarine, because like I knew it was also that tree's like first fruit ever. I don't even know how a tree that young produced it, but it did. And so I'm in this beautiful moment, just like, I mean, before I had words for it, but in that like thing of like, it can't be anything else but God, but I don't identify too well with the word God because of the like assumed gender and then specific like externalization of something that is God when the divine is within all of us. Anyway, this moment is God, like, right? That's literally an experience of how beautiful life absolutely is allowed to be every single day, which we'll get to, you know, through allowing that for ourselves. And I'm allowing it for myself in this moment. And what comes and sits on the fence to like watch all of this happen? A hummingbird. And like, we don't have hummingbirds in Ireland. I did not grow up with this as a normal thing whatsoever. So I'm like, oh my God, it's a magical being. Which like, not a quote that I said at the time, but definitely the kind of energy that I get off of those, because they move so fast and they're so teeny and they can go all the directions and they breathe like 280 times a minute, 240 times a minute, like redonkulous. And so it is like sitting on the fence watching me have this beautiful moment, and I'm watching it. And because I have like a spray of water, 1010, it like came closer to me. So it's like literally, I don't know, what's that, a half a meter or a foot and a half, and starts like dipping itself in and out of the spray and like basically allowing itself to like bathe in the spray that I was having. And it was just like, it's fucking magic. It was magical. And the moment has literally never left me. And also, like, you know, I'm sure someone could hear it and be like, yeah, like birds and water and like it's, but this stood out to me. This was like a glowing golden moment. A lot about my energy, I've noticed like gold very much aligns with the way that I feel when I feel fulfilled and closest to my highest self. And so I went looking for a new tarot deck, specifically like an angelic based tarot deck. And this one ended up being in like, you know, when you're looking for a deck of cards specific, like, you know, spiritual led ones or anything that you want to look for in this world, 1111, it'll pull it to you, what it is that is aligned. I mean, set that intention as well, because like any energy in a sense could just draw you towards it based on what it is that you're exporting or like outputting as your energetic vibration. It'll match to you and call you. And so I went in looking for like the thing that is what I need on this moment of my journey right now. And this was the one that stood out to me. And I'm like, hummingbird vision and or wisdom. And this is like right after I had the transmission from a meditation that I was having, which like usually they happen by accident, where I was trying to figure out like the color of my energy and of my aura, and there was like many a color. And then I started to realize that it was like, all I could think was hummingbird. Like you see and feel an energy, and that's how my observation of this world works. And it's like, oh, I know what that's like. Like I can pair it to something that I've experienced in this lifetime's perspective and then understand it from that point of view. So hummingbird energy, absolutely. I vibe with. And so I thought I would ask it today to bring a message to whoever it is that needs to hear this and that this video crosses the path of, because I do want to continue on with my serendipitous deck sermons. I'm wondering on what shape they could take instead, because I feel like I've expanded and grown and I don't know exactly what that means yet for those, but I do want to finish the deck at the very least. And whatever else more I am called to bring and do, because I feel massively activated after this moon of just like, I don't know, double time the version of what you would feel if you were like, oh, I just had a like near death experience. I need to like live like now. I need to live now. And in a way where you didn't see it that way before, you know what I mean? Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you. It's time. Alrighty. There it is. Thank you. Now, and when I have oracle cards, and this is literally to each deck their own, but when these are reversed, when they come out, it's like extra emphasis on this message. On every word of it, on how it is that it makes you feel. So take a breath with me here. So we can notice where it is that we are within our own selves. And therefore then notice how it is and what comes up for you when I read this card and then the meaning of it, because I don't know this deck off by heart. So I'm going to read from the book as well. So we have epic journey. You have flown so far already. Keep your gaze on the horizon. You are almost there. And this is the imagery in case that's helpful for anyone. So we have a hummingbird in a top hat and a lake these mountains, and it's like this beautiful place of resting and of remembering to take a beat on any journey, because you have transformed, see this mushroom, in immense ways. So much so that you have alchemized what it is that you have been through into something that is now growing from the ground. Sit atop that, your top hat. Oh, that rhymed. And take that in. Because you're doing everything already that you're supposed to be doing. And when there is more, you will be directed to know what that is from within. If anything that you take from a Sagittarius, full moon or new moon or anything to do with Sagittariusness in general, is listen to your intuition. It knows things we cannot know just yet. It knows. And you know what it is saying to you more than you may currently believe that you do. It's really the first thing that comes to mind, and start trusting in it and going with it. That's how I'm on here doing this video right now. Because what comes in next are those doubts, are the voices of like, oh, well, this happened last time, and what if this and all the... No, none of that is what you need to pay attention to. Thank those voices. They maybe have kept you safe in other scenarios, but they are not what are helping you to move on to the next stage, and where, fear is usually a part of what. So we're also getting, there's a lot of blue and a lot of purple and a lot of green. So that is third eye chakra, throat chakra, and heart chakra. So if these are places that maybe in a meditation, you want to focus on bringing some love to and some attention to, and listen to the chakra and see what it is that it maybe has to say to you. And also, this is the back of the card. I sometimes think that like that's a part of the deck that, especially when you aren't someone like that looks at my deck, I know what the back of it looks like, but I don't know. There's so much warmth and love. And this deck really is a very, very loving energy. Okay. So, epic journey. And isn't life just that? Continuously a journey. It also is like one of the best smell books. Just smell all the books. Okay. So yes, the Hummingbird Wisdom. You have flown so far already. Keep your gaze on the horizon. You are almost there. The page numbers are 34 and 35. I like the kind of numerology that comes with those things. So we have a 7 and an 8. And then the affirmation will be, I embrace and enjoy every step of this joyous journey. And allow me to read this out now. Hummingbird comes to you, sharing its wisdom about traveling through wondrous adventures of your life, the wondrous adventures of your life. Every year, some species of hummingbirds sets out on what seems to be an impossible journey, migrating hundreds of miles across the open waters of the Gulf of Mexico. They travel alone, not in flocks, and fly over 20 hours nonstop, defying the laws of science and logic for their body size. The incredible migratory trip takes preparation, energy conservation, and perseverance. If you have received this card, you may be about to embark on a momentous venture and are being asked to prepare yourself mentally and spiritually. It could also signal that an upcoming trip will prove especially impactful for you. For most, however, this is a message that you are simply in the middle of an undertaking, a project, or an experience that is unfolding as divinely planned. As Hummingbird knows, the middle is often a challenging place to be. You may be losing steam and passion that you had at the outset and feeling you still have so far to go. Hummingbird, that's the fridge. Hummingbird wants to assure you that you've accomplished so much already and are continuing to make steady progress. This is the time to celebrate what you have achieved. Acknowledge how far you've come. Feel the joy of what's waiting for you on the horizon. Hummingbird is cheering you on, saying, you can do it. This is the fun part. So revel in the satisfaction of seeing the pieces of the puzzle come together one by one. Soon enough, you'll reach the other side, and your soul will hunger for the next expedition. Hummingbird also assures you that you already possess all the qualities you need to complete what it is that you have started. Wisdom, stamina, confidence, strength, and your unique talents and gifts. In truth, there is no end to the epic journey that is your life. Soar along with Hummingbird over the endless oceans of your travels, breathing in every little miracle of this great adventure. And now repeat after me. I embrace and enjoy every step of this joyous journey. Hand to your heart now. I embrace and I enjoy every step of this joyous journey. Interestingly, something came up during that I am also going to share. It's more of a view of like the way that we have operated as humans and the ways that we can change going forward. But thank you so much for listening to the reading. They have like a lot, for it's upside down. For each of the there you go. For each card, I mean, they, really did a lot of space saving on this. And the artist is Yasmin Westwood. And then the cards are by Ellen Valladares. Valladares. The artwork's just beautiful, though. So we have this phrase, the lone wolf. Which I've been, identify with completely because I tend to grow out of friend groups not fast necessarily, but like I'm very much an immense part of like a group of people. And then I outgrow or grow in a different direction or whatever it is. Like I word it in ways that possibly have more to do with like my ego way of looking at it, where I'm like, I agree, y'all, see ya. Like I understand that the wording can come from that. And we grow in different directions and we have our own valid journeys and paths that we're all on. And also sometimes like things just end. I have been in some workplaces, some friend groups, and it's like those are intact, except for some people have not maybe dealt with shit or whatever it is. And then I walk in and like I've compared other people to fecal sol, but then I started to realize it's a solution that you use as a vet's office to like rise the pieces of actual like feces to the top of a slide so that you can look at them under the microscope and then know what it is that you have to deal with if there's any illness in the puppy poop. And like I've seen people walk into towns and live there and shit rises to the top that needs to be seen. One of the presidencies recently for me, as far as I'm concerned, shit rises to the top and then all of a sudden you can't deny but actually see the reality of what it is that you're living amongst. And like if you can't see it, you can't do much about it. If you can't identify it, if you don't it's one of the steps in AA is like identifying the issue that you have and like actually admitting the thing so that healing can begin. And so as much as I have named other people that, I also see myself doing that. And so then I end up like moving to, new places or on in my life journey or whatever it is, no problem of mine, but lone wolf and this idea of it. And then I found out wolves move in packs. There's no like alpha wolf that is the one. If any of the alphas of are the alpha of the wolf pack, it is a matriarchal group. And the ones that were studied when they were in captivity. So it's like under the hand of man in like an affected patriarchal capitalist energetic man who has captured and then kept wolves and then studied them. And I would say, even if, you know, humans haven't been exactly affecting specifically any given animal because it's like not in a zoo or not like being kept on a farm or something like that, we still as a species have quite the reign over this planet as far as our energetic pull. And we have been operating in a very unconscious sense, unconnected understanding. So like all beings, all animals, all things, plants are able to surpass it as far as I've been able to feel. They're like on a whole other plane. But like, you know, if you're under this regime, in a sense, of like global colonialism and capitalism and patriarchy, like it's a fucking feat to not be affected by that kind of energy. So if anything, what we can look to as a lone wolf is apparently the hummingbird, because it was like traveling on its own over like 20 miles, which is ridiculous for its body and all this. And I'm like, oh, you're who we should be modeling ourselves after when we are thinking about ourselves as like individuals that like roam free and alone. Do I want to go into that now? Okay, I will say it in a short way, but I also feel called to like tell you about the card on the bottom and not read the whole message, just like it might be helpful for somebody. So we have a monocle in this one, which is hilarious because there's a top hat in that one. So this is the bottom of the deck, and I usually look at it for the theme of, you can see the wording, but you can definitely see some imagery in case any of that is helpful. There's like fireflies in the tree, bird's eye view. So it's yet another little bird up on something, you know, perched on something, right? Not in flight, not in the background. Like, it is very profile, and it is sitting on top of something else. Fly high and observe from above. Here you'll find a new perspective, greater understanding, and compassion. Okay, so wherever it is that you are in your journey, amidst things, you know, make sure you take moments to like look at where it is that you've been, and like stopping for a moment and not rushing on to the next thing also allows us to not repeat any cycles that are possibly not working out for us that we have been acting in without, you know, realizing, sort of thing. So stopping to look at it, and this brings in that kind of energy where it's like the stopping, the pausing, the moment of like, oh, I get to actually celebrate just the fact that I'm even consciously going on this journey. Like, I don't have to be at any kind of like time post or imagined end point to celebrate. You deserve to celebrate right now. You deserve joy literally because you exist, and joy is helping our entire consciousness. Never forget that. What you're doing for people when you just allow yourself to experience joy. Go to a show, like squish some grass, squish or say hello to moss in a consensual way, like hug a tree, skip rope, something. Like, it could be anything tiny, whatever it is, but it's reminding yourself, your inner child. Ask your inner child what it is that they want to do. It's the best way to usually like channel and find joy, and allow that into your life. But it will bring you another perspective, and allowing the other perspective on what it is that you're moving through. And that's an important part of any journey, because as we move along those journeys, we grow. Therefore, our perspective is actually constantly changing from what it was when we began it. And isn't that the point of the journey in the first place? The growth. Beautiful. Okay. And so, because the other thought has now gone out of my head, that is all for today. Thank you, angels. Thank you, spirit. Thank you, spirit team and ancestors and source, for allowing me to channel this and speak with who it is that needed to hear these words. And I hope you find love within yourself, and blessings to all of the beings that help transmute this message, and allow me to be in a grounded space to speak it. Oh, I hope you find yourself in so much love today. I'm just like enjoying my rose quartz a lot lately. So yeah. Okay. Thank you for being. Okay. See you on the next one. Well, this wasn't one of the serendipitous deck sermons, but I'll see you the next time that I feel called to share. Bye.